If you're on YouTube looking for trading signals and strategy videos, then this video is probably not for you. Most traders will click away from this video because it is too personal. It hits home. And that's the reason why you will forever be stuck as a trader and you'll never level up to the next level. You see, you think that trading is all about emotion and your strategy. Yes, that is part of it. That's true. Emotions do dictate and play a big part, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. It's actually about the ability to detach from your trades. And so I've coached a lot of people and they know all the strategies. They know all the setups, the systems. They've learned all the ICT. They've learned everything. They've read all the psychology books. They've watched a lot of psychology videos, yet they still struggle. And that's because they don't understand how to let go, detachment. And you have to understand that detachment is actually a skill. It's a mental skill. You don't just hear about detachment and then suddenly develop detachment. You understand? You have to work at it. You have to develop this skill. It's a mental muscle. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand what detachment really is in trading, and I'll give you some ideas and techniques on how to implement detachment into your trades so that you can finally let go and level up. Okay, so make sure you watch this to the end. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and like and subscribe. Drop your comments below. This is also going to help boost the algorithm and get this video out to more traders like you that may need to hear this message. So let's get started. First of all, I want to define detachment within trading. Okay. Now, there's detachment in all areas of your life. Okay. So it could be in your relationships, your dating life, your business, and then there's your trading. So in this particular video, we're going to talk about detachment in trading. Okay. And what it actually looks like. And it looks like this. Basically, you are always looking at your P&L. You're always looking at the money. You're not able to let go of the money. Okay. So you completely bypass the process. You forget about your process. You don't respect the process anymore because you're just focused on the outcome, the end result, making the money. Okay. So what happens is basically you have your identity attached to the end result. If you make money, you think you're a good trader. And if you lose money or if you lose a trade, you think that you're a bad trader, and that will just completely destroy you. So because of that, you're not able to stop obsessing over the chart or price movement. And you're always looking at the chart because you can't let go. You're attached. Okay. So attached is the opposite of detached, and you can't let go. And you're looking at every single movement. And then this is going to cause you to micromanage. Okay. So then you're going to get some profit, be happy, and then you're going to have a pullback, and now you're going to panic, and then you're going to close your trade early, and therefore you never see the full trade. Or you are looking at the charts and your P&L, and now you're negative. And so this is going to affect you in a bad way as well, because you don't want to be a bad trader. You want to be a good trader, and this is defining you. So when you win, you're all excited, and then you're posting your trades everywhere. You're showing off. You feel on top of the world, and you want to do it again. Okay? And then when you lose, you go into a meltdown. You feel really depressed. You feel really bad because now you are angry at the market. You feel like the market has taken something from you. And because you're not able to detach from either outcome, it's going to lead to other things. Okay. So if you win, it's going to lead to greed, wanting to do it again. Okay. And if you lose, you're going to feel angry and you're going to want a revenge trade. Okay. And you want to get back at the market because you're so attached to the money. And this is where most traders go wrong. They forget about the process. They completely there's no more process at this point because they're just attached to the end result. So you have to be able to fast forward yourself in time to the future and disconnect from whatever happens and make peace with your trade. Whatever happens, happens. Whether you win or you lose, it should not affect you, right? You need to just uphold your process and focus on the process. This is the number one key to detachment. You'll let a trade dictate your mood, okay, for the day. So if you're up and you're in profit, you're all rah, rah, radiga. You're all happy. You're all feeling good with yourself, right? And there's nothing wrong about feeling good about yourself, but it's from what? And if it's from trading, then the opposite is true, right? Now you're letting an external event dictate the way you feel. Now, when you're in the red for the day or you take a loss for the day, you don't want to talk to anybody. You get angry at everyone. You're mad at your spouse. You're mad at your kids. You're mad at your friends. You're mad at the market. You want to take it out on everybody, and you're mad at yourself because you know better, but you can't stop yourself. Why? So when you are attached to your trading, what happens is basically you go on a tilt. You want to fix. You want to get back your loss. You want to make the money that you lost. And then this is the beginning of your tilt, okay? Because you're attached to the situation, okay? And also, it's basically the emotional roller coaster. It's the beginning of the end, basically. So that's one thing that happens when you are attached to your trades. And then the other thing is you'll just not be able to hold on to your trades. You give your profits back, or you take profits too soon because you're so attached. You don't want to be wrong. You are so happy or attached to the money. So you see a bit of money and you close the trade. You cannot see the trade through. So that is how you will react when you are attached to your trades. Okay. So there is a solution if you want to detach from your trades. And like I said, being aware of what detachment and attachment is in trading, then if you can train yourself to forget about the end result, not care whatever happens, and you get there by, one, doing your back testing, so you know your numbers, you know your win rate, okay, so you can know what to expect on any given week, how many trades you're going to get, and whatever type of setups you're going to, and the probability of winning and losing, okay, so that you already are familiar with the outcome. So if you can do that, then you can let go of the end result and make sure that if a loss does occur, you're not trying to change your strategy, or you're not getting too bothered by it. You just understand that that is part of trading. You just have to lose and then win, okay? Like the book, The Best Loser Wins, right? You don't want it to affect you. You cannot. And that is one way of detaching. The other way is also by journaling your emotions. Okay, so being aware of your emotions, your FOMO, your fear, your greed, whatever you're feeling, you have to write it down. You have to journal it, because by writing it down on paper, blue pen and white paper by hand, not journaling by computer. Okay, there's a difference, because if you journal by the computer, the muscles in your fingers are not as activated as using a cursive handwriting. When you write something out, you activate more neural pathways. So it's the brain connection, and what you're actually writing will have a deeper impact on your subconscious. Okay. But you have to journal. And if you journal, then it gets the issue out of your head and onto a piece of paper. And then you can look at it from a different perspective. And then you can see, oh, okay, I have a pattern of FOMO. I have a pattern of chasing trades. I have a pattern of not being able to let go of trades, whatever it is. But by journaling, you're going to see yourself better. Okay. Rather than being in this haze and not knowing what you're doing. Okay. And not being aware. Journaling will help you have the self-awareness so that you can, once you have the self-awareness, then you can start to work on the problem and fix it. And if you want to work on the problem and fix it, that's what my course is all about. We have entire modules on detachment and fear, greed, and how to control and bring these emotions back into alignment so that they don't control your trades, okay, so that you don't tilt. So that's something that we do. It's the first link in the description. But basically, you have to detach, okay? And until you do, until you are able to stop opening your charts and looking at your charts and your P&L all the time, it's going to be very difficult, okay? So you detach by letting go of the end result, and then now you focus, you fall in love with the process. You have a process. Now your process is your system, okay, of your rules and whatever, and you have to abide by it. You have to respect it. You have to live and die by it, right? And you have to fall in love with the process. And so one technique for your process is to keep it simple, so that you do it. Because if your process is so complicated and it's so difficult and it's so many things to key in and track and all of that, you're not going to do it. Because to be honest, it can get boring. Because there's less dopamine. You see, you're being bombarded by dopamine from the trading, from the excitement of being in a trade, from your social media to everything else, so that when it comes to respecting your process, it's at the bottom of the list because there's less dopamine. So you're not going to do it. So the trick is to have a dopamine reset, but also you want to make the process easy and painless so that you do it. Okay. And that could be in a checklist or whatever quick checklist, something as easy as possible so that you can just check things off. And then, so that means you stay consistent and you respect your process. Okay. Most traders will skip this because there is no dopamine and it's boring and they just want to chase the thrill of trading. Okay. And then they're so attached to the outcome. They just want to make the money. They forget about the process. So you can see why this is important, and you can see why it's a skill. You have to develop this. It's a mental muscle. You don't just get this out of the blue. Okay. You have to build this daily. You have to work on this. Otherwise it's going to be difficult. Okay. There are other ways as well. So we have, within the course, we have ways to reprogram your identity, your trading psychology, your character. So we do all of this as well. We reprogram yourself. And your subconscious mind is the big one. It's the big thing that is actually making you react, making you have your ego, making you attach to your trades, making you do all these things that you don't want to do. It's like, when you mess up and then you say, I knew I shouldn't have done that, but I did it anyways, and you don't know why. That's your subconscious programming. Okay. And whether you want to admit it or not, everybody has it. Okay. And the subconscious programming is the 90% of the entire trading. Okay. The strategy is only 10%. So that's something that we work on pretty heavily within the course. We reprogram the identity and we give you a new identity so that you can now build new characteristics, new trading beliefs within yourself so that, you wake up and things are automatic. You have new positive, identity and characteristics so that things just go into flow. You're not swimming against the current. Now you're in alignment with the market and you're in alignment with your process. And this is important because until you can master this, everything's going to be difficult. Okay. And I ran away from this for a long time. I ignored this. I just didn't think that this part was important. All I ever did was focus on the strategy. And that led me to strategy hop. That led me to a lot of pain and just stuck in this failure loop until I changed that, until I did the internal work. That's when everything changed. Okay. So this is why I make these videos, because I know what you need to change. Okay. It's not strategy. If it was strategy, then I would have strategy videos. I would be teaching you strategy videos, but that doesn't work. Okay. There are strategy videos everywhere, and there are traders everywhere that are still struggling. So that is a big clue. Okay. It's not strategy. It's all internal. It's all here. Okay. If you're new to my channel, go ahead, like and subscribe, drop your comments below. Let me know how you're dealing with detachment. And if there's anything you want me to make a video on, just let me know. Remember to like and subscribe. And until the next video, you're on your own. Take care now. Goodbye.